This week we're looking at a series of life-changing encounters that people had with the risen Jesus in John chapter 20 and 21. And the first of these is with Mary Magdalene. Mary had come to anoint Jesus' body but found the tomb empty. So she ran to get her friends, and together they were astonished. After a while though, the friends go back home, but Mary just stands there weeping. She's heartbroken and disillusioned. Days before, she'd watched Jesus die on the cross from a distance, and now she's being denied the chance to even lament. One of the saddest things about coronavirus are the stories of families with loved ones who've died behind hospital closed doors, and of gatherings for funerals not being allowed. Like Mary Magdalene, many in our communities are experiencing grief upon grief. And there's something deeply profound within us that recognizes this is not the way things are supposed to be. Maybe this is why thousands of people across the UK and in other countries have put up pictures of rainbows inside their windows at home. The original symbol of hope after a flood ravaged the earth in ancient times. But also a reminder of the first occasion in the Bible we see that God is just as pained as we are when things are not the way they're supposed to be. God made a covenant, a promise to humanity on that occasion. He promised there would be a day when He would put all things right once and for all, that He would relieve creation of its horror, violence and decay, and start to turn back the tide of suffering in this world, change the course of history towards a day there would be no more pain or grief or tears. And it's interesting to see that the gospel writer John says that part of what is going on for Mary and the others who are confused about the empty tomb is that they had not understood the scriptures. In other words, they hadn't quite understood the relationship between what was happening with Jesus' death and the fulfillment of God's promises. God had not forgotten. At the cross in Jesus, God showed Himself to be faithful to us fully and finally. And then in raising Jesus from the dead, God began His work of redemption, renewal, restoration, rescue. In the life of Jesus, God kept His promise as evidence that He's going to do the same thing for all of us, the whole of humanity and the cosmos. And that's amazing. It's amazing to think that our pain, hopelessness and grief are not the end of the story. That God remembers us, and in fact, Jesus' resurrection means that any and all of our experiences in this life are latent with a promise. A promise that what we see is not all there is or one day will be. But when we're grieving, that all just seems so far away. Is there nothing for the here and now? I feel lonely. The kids are asking me questions I can't answer. I don't know how I'm going to pay the bills. A loved one is very ill right now and I'm scared. The tender image of God, whose hands that flung stars into space, also wiping tears from our eyes, is hard to accept. Thomas Aquinas says in his famous essays on love that we love when we desire the good for the beloved. Mary Magdalene has come to care for and anoint what she thinks will be Jesus' dead body. But Aquinas says we love above all when we desire union with and the presence of the beloved. Devastatingly then, this deepest desire of Mary's heart is what she takes to be impossible. But Mary loves because Jesus first loved her, and He has laid down His life for her so that she can be included in God's saving work for the world. By going to the cross for her, Jesus has truly desired her good. And besides that, He knows how much she is hurting in the here and now. Where is He then in her hour of greatest pain? Well, Mary turns around and finds Him right there. In fact, Jesus has been there the whole time. She just didn't recognize Him. All the while, Jesus has desired to be present and united with her. And I wonder whether you know that. I wonder whether you know that Jesus stands here today with arms open to you.